Hey everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to talk about my second half of December, how it went, what the wrap up was, the stats, all that kind of stuff. Because you guys, December was slumpy for me, and I'm filming this on January 1st. Go Texas. And so I'm filming this on January 1st. So happy to say goodbye to December reading because it was not pleasant, but there were some standouts and some good things. So let's get into the stats. So in the second half of December, I read 9 books. That's a total of 3,161 pages or 198 pages per day. So still a ton of reading, just nothing great. The average length was 351 pages per book. So I read about half a book a day. 9 were novels. All 9 were novels. 7 was adult, 1 was YA, and 1 was middle grade. 8 came from my shelf and 1 from somewhere else. So pat myself on the back for that, you guys. My goal is always 50%, and I definitely hit that in this last half of the month. 6 were from Libby, 2 were from Spotify, and 1 was on my shelf, just one that I read off my shelf. 7 I read on audio, 1 on ebook, and 1 physically. So if you guys saw, my goal for 2024, whatever year it is now, is to read 1 book physically a month, and at least 1, obviously. And so I got 1. So that was, goal hadn't started yet, but starting there. And all 9 were backlist. None were released in 2023. So as far as genre goes, I had 3 women's fiction, 2 mystery thriller, 2 sci-fi fantasy, a historical, and a contemporary. So let's talk about star ratings. I had 2 2-stars, 3 3-stars, 3 3.5 stars, and 1 4-star. Whew. So, you guys know I'm kind of a stingy rater. So, generally I like to shoot for about like a 3.5 average month, or 2 weeks or whatever is pretty good for me. Like, I feel like that's an okay reading month. Pretty good. I would recommend stuff generally. But this 2 weeks, it was 3.06. A 3-star is like, it was fine. If you're super interested in it, pick it up, but not going to boldly recommend it. So let's get in the books. As always, I'm going to talk about the books that I read with my kids. Those were not a part of the stats, but I'm going to talk about them just in case you have young middle grade or early elementary school kids. I know the classification of what's middle grade is arguable. So young readers, let's just say that. So first, this is for all young people. I would say The Way to the Manger is a devotional that we did leading up to Christmas, and I think we finished this a couple days early because my kids loved it so much that we did multiple days sometimes. So each week of Advent is separated into a different topic. So week 2 was love, and then it's got a verse, a little thing, and a prayer, and then this is Memory Maker. We chose not to write in it this year just because the kids are so young. Their answers were kind of off the cuff. But so what is a way you like to show love to others? What's a favorite way you've been shown love? So not everyone is a memory maker. There's 1 memory maker a week, and then different things for parents to ask kids and kids to ask parents. And this was just a really fun devotional. I would definitely recommend that you read this with your kiddos, or just as a family, whatever age you've got. And this is my favorite that we've ever read. So really like that. Then we read The Eagle, which is a part of the Lighthouse family by Cynthia Rylant. These are fun. They're really short, and they're some pictures, some longer pages, but these are really short stories about the Lighthouse family. So the Lighthouse family, it is a cat and a dog who live in this lighthouse. The first is just the cat, and then the first book the dog comes, and then in the second book some little mice come, and then they've got this eagle helping them when they get lost. It's a pretty lackluster book in and of itself, but the series is cute. Then we started a new series, which is Jojo Makoons and the Almost Best Friend, the Used to Be Best Friend. This is by Quigley. This is about a little girl. There's a lot of Native American culture in this, and I really liked that. But other than that, this was just okay. It's about this little girl. Her best friend at home is her cat, and she's trying to make friends at school. There's a lot of drama. She's in 1st grade, I think, so good for young middle grades, but a little bit too much drama. Just all right for us. So not one I'm not going to continue because they were all fine, but just fine. Next is Daisy Dawson and the Big Freeze. I really didn't like this book. I gave it 2 stars. I was zoning out, and it took days and days and days to finish this, which normally, you guys, we finish a book in a day or 2, and there's not a ton of words. So I don't know why this took us so long, but it's just a really dull series. There's a big freeze. She's trying to save one of her animals, but it's not good. Next is this. We got this like either for free or in a 50-cent box or something, or maybe a part of the library fill a book or something. I don't know. Ready Freddy, a very crazy Christmas. His two ornery cousins come for Christmas and they try to get into all these trouble and all the hijinks. And we're really interested now in reading the rest of the Ready Freddy series because this is like number 23. You can definitely read them out of order, but there's that. Next is Jada Jones Rockstar. So we have read a Jada Jones before, and my kids were like, meh, they were just fine about it. But this is the first in the series, and they actually loved it. So this little girl is named Jada Jones, and I thought when we got this Rockstar, she was like going to try to be a musician. My kids love the series The Major Eights, which is about 8-year-old girls who form a band. So I think that's why they picked this. But it's actually like she's very into rocks. Jada Jones is a science-loving girl, and she's really into rocks, and so they are doing a rock project in school, and it's super cute. I'm excited to keep reading this series. Next is another one in the Good Dog series. This is one that now my daughter is reading independently because they're they're very basic, but also I'm just kind of meh about the series. It's about this little dog, and this one is Heard You Loud and Clear, so he's learning to herd sheep, and they're cute, but these are pretty, like, I'm pretty comfortable with her reading these by herself. Not a lot to talk about. They're fine. And then last is Jasmine Green Rescues a Kitten Called Holly. So this is one that these are more like traditional older middle grade, not older middle grade, but like mid to late elementary, maybe 4th grade, something like that. I don't know what the exact lexile level is, but Jasmine Green is a little girl. Her mom's a vet, her dad's a farmer, so they live on a farm, and she just so happens to be running into all these animals that need help. And so this one is they rescue a kitten called Holly, or name her Holly. So they see that there's a mama cat and her 3 kittens living on their farm, and for some reason the mama is rejecting this little kitten, so they take her in and take care of her, and the mom's like, Jasmine's mom's like, no, we are not keeping this cat. But of course we fall in love with the cat, and we'll see what happens in the end. So there's a little bit of hard stuff discussed in this, with one of her friends having a death of a family member. So definitely beware of that. That kind of hit my oldest girl a little hard. So it was not a big part of the book, but it's definitely in there. So there's that. So that's everything I read with the kids. Now, I did read one middle grade myself, which is A Boy Called Christmas by Matt Haig. And this was all right. This is Santa's origin story. It's Saint Nick when he's a kid. Definitely fantastical. It was okay for me. It was just okay. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Then I also read one YA, which is the Juliet Club by Suzanne Harper. And this one was, I think, for my book haul revisit for December. So I will link that video down below in case you didn't see it. But I didn't really like this. This is about a girl who, she's like the serious one in her friend group. She's definitely like she's not a romantic, I guess, and she is very into poetry and things. So she is in Shakespeare. So she gets this opportunity to go to Italy for a month or so in the summer and take this course under her father's kind of like arch nemesis. She's the one there teaching it. And so when she's there, of course, she meets this boy who happens to be the arch nemesis' son. And so there's a romance. There's also the Juliet Club. They're writing, people write letters to them and they respond about like heart issues and stuff. And this is all in Verona where Romeo and Juliet was set. So it's okay, but just 2 stars for me. Next is Before I Do by Sophie Cousens. This was a Vlogmas pick. I think the last Vlogmas pick. No, not the last. It was one of my Vlogmas picks, so I can link that video down below for more of my thoughts. But this is about a girl who, the opening scene is her wedding day, and we know things are not good. There's an ambulance there, like the wedding is not going on. And so then we get flashbacks from the different times leading up to the wedding. Like we have a day before, we have 6 years before, all that kind of stuff, because to her wedding walks this guy, kind of the one who got away. They met through pictures in a photo booth. They didn't actually meet, and then their paths kept crossing. And so she's always kind of had that like what would have been. And so we explore like the forming of both relationships and see where it goes. It's definitely a book of hijinks, kind of like one of those Meet the Fockers or something, like everything that can go wrong will go wrong. So that's not my favorite kind of story just because it gets like silly after a while, but this was all right. Next, we have Our Last Goodbye by Shirley Dixon, also part of my book I'll revisit. So check out more of my thoughts there. But this is about a girl during World War II. She wants to become a nurse after seeing her mother be killed. And so she wants to become a nurse. She meets this guy. And there's definitely pacing issues for me in this book. The beginning, like getting to know, there's some best friend dynamics and a lot of interwoven relationships and webs and things. And so getting to know all that was really interesting, but then it kind of lulled. And then at the end, a lot of action comes. And so it was good. Pacing issues were okay. So it made it like a 3-star. Next, we have The Guest Room by Bohjalian. And this one is, I would say, as close to, like, not horror, because, I mean, this is okay, let's just back up. So this is a thriller about a bachelor party gone wrong. They hire some exotic dancers to come, and the exotic dancers have, like, bodyguards, I guess, that are actually not bodyguards, and the girls end up killing these guys, and so there's this big murder scene going on, and the girls run away. And so we are both following one of the girls as well as the brother of the groom who hosted the bachelor party. And yeah, lots went down. I would say this is as gruesome as I could ever read. I really like this author. He writes things that are all either like domestic drama, suspense, thrillery kind of things. I would say I've only read 2 or 3, and this is by far the most gruesome. So it's just a lot. It's a lot. It definitely deals with the, like, kind of sex worker, childish slavery. Not child. I don't want to say that, but like I think they're hired as like 17-year-olds. So there's a lot of topics that are not typically my favorite to read about, but yeah, I still enjoy this book because I really like his writing. Next is Balancing Acts by Zoe Fishman. So one night I finished my book or something, and I was in bed and I was cold and did not want to get up. And so I was like, hey, Jeremy's my husband. I was like, hey, can you just go pick a book off my shelf? And this is what he picked. And I am really happy about that. It's a book that's been on my shelves forever because it's got very low ratings on Goodreads, but I actually liked it. It's about 4 women, I think, 3 or 4, Naomi, Sabine, Bess, and Charlie. Yeah, so 4 women that all come together. Charlie owns a yoga studio, and these 4 women all meet back up at their like 10-year college like reunion, which I don't think that's a thing. Is that a thing? College reunions? I don't know. Maybe some sort of alumni event, but they all meet back up and decide to start doing yoga for different reasons. And so their friendship grows, their kind of self-awareness grows, and I love these kind of stories. So women's fiction, I really enjoyed it. 3.5 stars. I maybe even would bump this up to 4 because I really did enjoy it. Next is Eve by William Paul Young. And this one, sometimes he's W.M. Paul Young and sometimes he's William Paul Young. I don't know. But this is a reimagining of the creation story in the Bible. And it definitely takes a sci-fi twist on things. It's definitely a feminist twist on things. I really got lost in the sci-fi element and didn't love it. So this one was just not for me, but I know other people really like it, so maybe. Next is A Beach Wish by Shelley Noble. This one is a book about a woman whose mother dies and says, like, hey, take my ashes and spread them on this beach. This is a beach that her and her brothers have never heard of. They have no idea what it's about. So she goes there and discovers a lot of family secrets. Like, it's a small, tight-knit community with some squabbles within the community, and she realizes that her family is a part of it. And so a lot of family drama, all that kind of stuff. I will say this has way too many characters for me because you get the whole community. And maybe reading it physically would have helped. I read it mostly on audio, but you get a lot of characters all at once, and none of them are like super standout. I mean, you get the gist of it pretty easy. But this one just, I think this is going to be pretty forgettable for me. So there's that. And then last is The Neighbors by Hannah Mary McKinnon. And this is a thriller, I guess, domestic drama. This is a domestic drama about the neighbors, if you might guess. So this woman and her husband and their teenage daughter live in a house, and then their new neighbors move in. And just so happens it is kind of the mom's first love. Liam is the guy's name. Liam and she were together until her brother was killed in a hit and run accident. And of course, that kind of derailed her life as well as their relationship and all that kind of stuff. So things went down. they are no longer together. But when they see each other, they act like they don't know each other. And so, of course, there's drama with that because their spouses think they don't know each other when secretly they do. And they told us on the back about the brothers hit and run, and everybody's involved in ways that we don't know until the end. And so I really enjoyed this book. It wasn't a hit and run. It was actually a drunk driving accident. So anyway, but that doesn't matter. So I really enjoyed this. Definitely recommend. Yeah, enough said. So check the trigger warnings for this because there are definitely some. But that's everything. So that's everything I read in the second half of the month. The end of the month definitely started to pick up with like balancing acts and the neighbors and that kind of stuff. I feel like I'm getting my groove back. And the very end, the last couple of days really of the month has been what motivated me to make the goal of read what I want for 2024, like not anything else, because I'm really enjoying the women's fiction, domestic dramas. I'm really into that right now. Whereas the things that were more of a stretch for me, like Eve, and things, and even Our Last Goodbye with some kind of romantic historical fiction, those were such misses for me that I'm like, okay, we're going to just sit in my comfort zone for a minute and then we'll venture back out eventually, but we're going to do what I want. So that's everything that I read in the second half of the month. What did you read in December? What was your best read? Do you know what were you reading on Christmas Day, or did you read on Christmas Day? I don't remember what I was reading on Christmas Day because Christmas Day and really the last week has just kind of been a blur. But a lot of Christmases and things, like, though I have memories of reading specific books. So if you do too, let me know. But thank you so much. Happy New Year. Go Texas. Hopefully by the time I post this, they will be on their way a little further in the playoffs. So on the way to the championship. Let's do this. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.